Nobody's saying this either. Young kids, you know, adults, fully grown adults. I'm tired of seeing people take advantage of this older generation. From their SSI, from their, I'm just sick of seeing people dying and leaving behind this money, and it's not even going to their families. Right now in history is a more aggressive side of taking advantage of older people. That had a mother, had a father, and yes, we can relate on these issues. If you don't love your mother, then there's something wrong with you. I'm having to rely on, mine, and I never did because I was always working. I was proud that I had a job, but, you know, when you can't even find a place to stay, it's frustrating. When you have so many brick walls, like a barrier to find yourself getting out of being homeless, it's undesirable. It's frustrating, and you give in to addiction. Addiction is gonna hit everybody in the world facing this kind of backlash from society. It's like, you're a refugee. No one wants you. And the way that we treat older people, we don't talk good about, our mothers and our fathers, and people that had to, work a 40-year, 60-year life. Why ain't we talking about those people that went to work every day, and they kept their job? What is the secret about keeping what you have? You have to play the kiss ass, stuck up person sometimes, the evil, demented one, the steal money. What, you rob people, you steal people, are you a murderer? What is it that people have these 60 plus year career spans? It sure ain't Donald Trump, because that guy has never really worked a day in his life. No hotel owner, no owner has worked a day of your life. I mean, that's not working to charge people to come and stay at your place. It's never. That's why he's never been my ideal president. He's always been a scumbag that, said come and stay here for a few bucks, and that's not American. It's like, when we'll take your poor, we'll take your homeless, we'll take. They used to have a saying like that, the liberty, having liberty. We'll take your homeless, you're weak, you're poor, you're sick. You know, but now it's like, I don't think it's worth it taking your murderers. But there has to be some kind of, you know where due is due. Where you owe your respect to in your older people. And they, if they don't have the wise enough brain to say that this AI is ridiculous, nobody's gonna understand it. Nobody gets it. We just need to die when we. It's the opportunity to die. That's just it. When we die is when we die. There's no saving us. Save us now. When we're going through this hard trouble of finding a place to rent, find a place to stay, find a job. Save us now, not when, they know that we have a little bit of work money saved up in our SSI, and then kill us and then take all our money. What happens to all that money after dead people die? That's owed to them. I'm talking about that stuff. We're not respecting none of these people, but it's still the ones that surround us are going to be the ones that bury us. So you gotta watch what you do, I guess. And it's I try to know right from wrong, and obviously some of these newscasters and some of these people, they just have to do wrong to keep their job, and they don't care.